we'll make sure next year to allocate space for an indoor photo area, so people can be accommodated in case there's inclement weather. What I think?
San Diego was here this year, and they had a bring your own computer event. It was in an upstairs room. I don't know if any of you LAN. The only way to get up there conveniently was to do it with an elevator, because otherwise I walked up those stairs without a computer, and it was a long way. If they're here next year, you might want to consider putting them downstairs.
Okay.
This is honestly the first con I've been to where I've actually been to a panel, because like I rarely go to cons, but I just want to say I've found the panels really enjoyable, mostly because of how well the panelists interacted with the audience. Like it wasn't just strict, really formal Q&A, and that was essentially the only way to interact with the audience, but people could throw in comments, and like it was just really an enjoyable and really personable experience for me.
Over there. Last comment.
My biggest thing was you guys need more advertising. Because I barely even, I didn't even know you existed until this year, in like February of this year. So maybe do more advertising at other conventions like Comic-Con, hand out flyers or something. Because if San Diego hadn't told me, I would have known.
I can actually address the Funny Arcade thing directly because I actually invited them as artist guests of honor last year, and they told me no. They only support their conventions and local anime conventions,
They share the same convention.
which is SakuraCon. SakuraCon is their home anime convention. That doesn't mean we couldn't work something out about them advertising us, but they're probably going to be less likely to want to advertise a con they're not going to be attending and don't plan on attending. The thing about Comic-Con specifically, I tried to get a table in the mezzanine, and the waiting list is a mile long. And yeah. And the sad part was that we had one with our organization, with Sans Fist, which is the corporation that sponsors us. And then we took a break from our science fiction convention that we run, so we didn't need the table. But then we did Anime Conji the next year, and we really needed the table. And they were like, you let it expire, we give it to somebody else, you have to wait. And they wouldn't renew us. So that's the reason why we don't have a booth at Comic-Con in the mezzanine. But hopefully in the future, but we do hit all the other anime conventions, PMX, ALA. We have a really great street team, Anime Expo. Richie did a really good job this year going out and hitting lots of different events. And I'm hoping that next year we can increase the media budget so that we could hit even more shows and put our faces out there. All right. I guess we'll close with Anonymous. Okay.
I will say this: if you guys, right, those of you who blog or have a website, if you guys like this, spread it out there. Because I've seen that the best way to advertise things is to have people blog about it, or have them Twitter about it, Facebook, whatever. Or,
Tumblr.
well, I don't have Twitter, but I will get
So thank you so much. Get out there, get on the horn. Our head of exhibitors, of the exhibitors division, Barry, would like to say something. Barry.
For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Barry. I run the exhibit hall. I would like to hear what you have to say as attendees about the exhibit hall. I've heard from some of the dealers and our artists, but I would like to hear good things, bad things, comments, any improvements that we could possibly make for next year. So if you have any, please speak up now, or forever hold your peace.
This year.
Actually, I really liked how the exhibit hall was laid out because there was enough space to walk around. Like, not if you had like maybe a giant costume, but for me in general, I could navigate. So that one spot in the left corner was really, really open. So I felt like it wasn't utilizing the space like it could have. So,
Is that the location where the art show was?
yeah.
Okay, we left that purposely open so that there was enough traffic so that people actually knew that they could get into that entrance space. And we did utilize the space. It was a relatively small space for how many dealers we actually did put in. And the walkways were
very nice to walk.
yeah, oh good, because it was very, very tight. We didn't have too much space, but we figured it'd be enough. But we wanted to make sure we packed people in as much as we could. Yes.
Just a little suggestion, improve the volume of the announcements because most of the time I cannot understand anything of what the announcements were saying.
Can I ask you that? Can we not have a computer voice telling us?
All right.
Like, how much actually a Mac voice?
I heard from a lot of the dealers that they actually did like it because it was clear and concise. The first day we were playing with volume a little bit. I believe it was a little bit better and understandable as of Saturday and Sunday. But were people very annoyed by Alex? Do we love or do we hate Alex? Love? Hate? Maybe? Who's Alex? Okay, well she thinks Alex is sexy, so he might have to stay. This was actually, we used a computerized voice to type up announcements in the exhibit hall so that I did not have to talk, because as you can tell, I'm already losing my voice and I didn't even do the announcements. But we might be able to actually figure out a more clear or concise voice. This was kind of a last minute addition that we did. Siri? We wanted to use Gladys, but that might have been a little bit too much, so. Jazz? We thought about that, but honestly, we had one that sounded like Stephen Hawking that we couldn't understand, and there were several other ones that we actually did play with to see if they really helped, and they were really, really difficult to hear through the intercom. So that was actually the most clear and natural sounding one that wasn't talking like this. So that was the best one that we could find. What about the selection in the dealer's hall? Last year we had some complaints about not having enough DVDs, like actual physical anime. So what do you guys think about that?
Actually, I thought the selection was a lot better this year because last year it was like a couple of people were in the rest of the park. And I actually like the fact that we have 24 seasons and all that.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. And back.
I was completely disappointed with your lack of anything you do.
On the video note, it's Hector's fault. Yes, home stuff.
Actually, there was no wave dealers this year.
There was a what?
Wave dealers. Yeah. Last year, I think Epic Cosplay was here, and this year there wasn't. And I was actually planning on buying a wig for this cosplay. Like,
Okay.
because mine was the wrong shade of brown. And then no wig dealers were here, so I didn't get a wig.
Okay, well, we can keep maybe an eye out for one next year. We did have one application that never went through. I mean, they applied for it, but they never paid for their space, so the space was opened up. But we will actually try to maybe see if we can find one and invite them. Do you know if they're local? Are they local? Okay, if you have their information, find me and maybe we can hook something up with them.
WonderCon.
Are they at WonderCon? Oh, well, we'll tell them to come here. Gosh. Okay, was there anything else really quick about Exhibit Hall? Additions, complaints, anything like that? Not Yu-Gi-Oh.
I don't know, but to be honest, my original comment was something about maybe something more varied, because I was seeing a lot of patterns, mostly a lot of mainstream anime, and I know that's what sells the best, but I would have liked it to add a bit more of a selection.
Okay, more of a selection of manga DVDs?
Yeah.
Just general?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we can look into that. Okay, anything else? Oh, good, because I thought they were narrow. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. Okay, one more if there's any. So whoever's getting pointed at. More t-shirt vendors? Yeah. Okay, well, we can look into that too. Okay.
I guess one other thing is there's no doujinshi tables I saw, because I'm used to going to conventions and buying a lot of other fan comics, but there was like, I guess there was just Baku, which is not really doujinshi anymore.
Yeah, no, we actually did take in a vendor. There was a vendor called Eldon Sama, and he actually did put that he was bringing doujinshi in his application. So when we looked at that, we were like, awesome, that's great. We've been looking for someone because we did get a lot of doujinshi requests for last year. And then he didn't bring any. And we were really disappointed. So when we actually look at the applications, we do make sure, because we do have limited space in the dealer's hall, that we're getting variety. We don't want someone who's selling only manga all over the place, or only swords and so on and so forth. So we are really focusing on getting as much variety as possible for you guys to make the shopping experience a little bit different. But if you guys have any feedback, please go ahead and shoot an email to exhibits@animeconji.org. We will take everything into consideration for next year. Okay, thank you guys.
Hi, I'm Larissa. I'm head of the creative division, so I made sure Nathan was on track. So I would like to know from you guys, what was your favorite panels and workshops and events you can make sure they come back? So that would be good to know. You, Sir Bear.
The feedback session.
You first, we'll go back. You first?
Assist me.
Assist you. Thank you for helping me. This young man also helped me with my Lolita fashion party. It was really crazy. It was really crazy popular, and he was kind enough to help me. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. Yes? Awesome. Well, BJ ran that. That was his over there. That gentleman, he was actually doing the programming ops last year. He didn't have a position. That man stretches his skills so far. Thank you. That was awesome. I heard great things. Yes?
My favorite is definitely webcomics.
Webcomics.
They taught me more than anything. And things like shonen were a lot of fun.
Okay.
And I also recommend that you guys make a proof, do more homework on it, because I went to the home stuff panel and I had to wait for them to open up a second room before I could get in, because apparently they didn't know it was so popular. So fire hazard if it was 15 or 20 minutes.
One other thing Nathan forgot to mention earlier is when we were accepting applications for panels and workshops and everything, it was kind of a first come, first serve. Whoever said it first, I need it for this time. And we looked at the grid and we're like, okay, this is open for there. Okay, we move them here. So you guys also are particular in certain spaces too, so we kind of had to accommodate for that too. But thank you. The home stuff, we'll definitely try to bring that back for next year, from what I can tell.
Give us this room, it'll be fine.
I'll
take over and I'll make sure.
We'll make note of that for you. Yes, in the back. Italia, okay. That was the two ones I remember people submitting for, and we're like, hey, so that's awesome. Is anyone else thinking about workshops, events, panels that they would like listed? Okay,
I
yeah.
also love the figure collecting panels.
Awesome.
I'm not a big figure collector, but I plan to be now.
Oh, yay! Top hat, yes.
The team lift now. Although
Team lift.
they were at like a little event and they did like martial arts demonstrations.
Yeah.
So they were going there. Apparently they were on the schedule. I don't know where they came from at all.
I don't know how to explain their schedule thing, but we were really happy to have them. They're pretty awesome. The guidebook, are you referring to the grid or the actual booklet?
The actual book.
The actual book. Well, the book was a bit confusing this year, some miscommunication and stuff, but we'll try again, like has been said before, to do better next year. Yeah, growing pains. Yes.
I actually liked how that flash mob kind of happened yesterday.
Flash mob. Yeah, it was like a secret. Actually, it was Nathan's sister that did that, so I heard it was really successful. Awesome. Sorry, one more over here. Yes.
To be honest,
Mr. Yu-Gi-Oh.
my favorite panel was probably the Resident Evil panel.
Yeah. Cool.
And like you said, it was really that personable experience where fans just kind of got together and discuss things. And I would like in the future maybe more panels like that around video games. I know this is an anime conference.
Well, if you would like to submit next year to Constant Run competition. Mr. Yu-Gi-Oh. Okay. Awesome. Yes, Mike.
I don't know how I forgot this. Who approved the flash mob to be inside registration?
It wasn't. That was him. Obviously, the brother.
Okay.
No,
No,
we need another room.
it was
I didn't even get to see the flash.
it was really fun.
I was busy.
That's been a popular quote this year.
I have poisonous gas, if that'll quiet her down. No. It was fun, but it caused a major traffic problem in that area, and I didn't even know it was official, and I almost dispersed it. So somebody was like, "No, this is approved," and I'm like, "What? Go outside." So anyway, yeah, just think
Nathan should have
about
told you.
congestion.
Sorry.
It's okay.
That was supposed to happen outside the TV.
Yes, it was. It was scheduled there. And actually, a few of our staffers did know, like Cheryl did know, but